Howdy folks, it's Friday. That means I'm going to be telling you all the Easter eggs and things you missed in WandaVision's new episode. First, let's talk about the fact that Wanda's wearing her comic book accurate costume, Vision's wearing his comic book accurate costume, and Quicksilver's wearing his comic book accurate costume, and Tommy is wearing his comic book accurate costume from being Wiccan in the comics, and we'll get to that in the ending. Let's talk about the opening theme or intro into WandaVision's newest episode. It's definitely mimicking that of Malcolm in the Middle's intro, being that it's our late 90s, early 2000s TV show. When Darcy is hacking into S.W.O.R.D's files and projects, she opens Project Cataract and goes into Monica Rambeau's file, but before that hovers over Ray Johnson. Now, this is not a character in the comic books at all, but it could be a reference to MCU's long-awaited entry of the character Beta Ray Bill, a character of which we saw in Guardians and briefly in Thor Ragnarok. Now, we haven't actually heard any dialogue or seen him more or less in the flesh, and this could be his little tease into what a character we might see in Thor 4, Love and Thunder. So when Darcy actually does click on Monica's file, it opens up the blood samples that they took of her, and now her DNA has been completely altered. Now, we know that Monica Rambeau becomes Photon in the comics, a comic book hero who can tap into the electromagnetic spectrum to tap into any energy on the spectrum. In summary, this is her origin story to become the hero Photon. And then yet again, Monica teases that her guy, her aerospace engineer that's going to make a rig for them to breach through Wanda's boundary, is yet again on his way with the rig. This has got to be Mr. Fantastic, and all the evidence that I have, I actually presented in one of our old videos. So go ahead and go click off and check that out and come back here for the rest of the Easter eggs. Now, next is a bit of a funny Easter egg with the fact that The Incredibles and The Parent Trap are playing at a movie theater when Wanda and Quicksilver are walking by it. Now, what's special about this is that The Incredibles is a superhero family. WandaVision stars a superhero family. The Parent Trap stars two twins, and WandaVision stars two twins. So it's safe to say that these are just movies that are just similar in relation to the show. Also, I just gotta point out the fact that Nick Fury is played by Samuel Jackson, and Frozone in The Incredibles is played by Samuel Jackson. So when they watch the movie, does that not overlap the thing? Plot holes are weird. Later on, Darcy's on the old hacking grind, and she's plugging in Jimmy Woo's email. Now, it's giving her suggestions as to different people named James. A little bit of those suggestions are James D. Gad. Now, this is a reference to an employee at Marvel Studios who works on post-production, especially on WandaVision. The next suggestion is James Alexander, James J. Alexander, but the James Alexander in real life actually works as a VFX producer on WandaVision. And the last suggestion is James X. Seckler. Now, when I plugged this into Google, it came up with something quite interesting. James Howlett. That's the Wolverine. That was the first top of the list. So why would that pop up first? Could this be Marvel's way of teasing Wolverine? And more so over teasing the X-Men entirely. Teasing mutants coming into the MCU. Something of which Kevin Feige confirmed at Comic-Con only years prior. A couple of years back, actually. Last but not least, we find out that Wiccan and Speed are in the MCU. They actually have developed their powers. Tommy and Billy have developed their powers. Tommy has the ability to project energy blasts like his mom, Wanda. And Speed has the abilities of his uncle, Pedro. Super speed. Now, did I miss anything? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below. What'd you think of the episode as well? Let me know while you're down there. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.